Welcome back to another episode of Spilling the Tea with the Henna guys. Today's video, we are doing Salvo Spot. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Her video is named How to Dye Your Hair Red with Henna. So her link is down below. You can go ahead and check out her full video. Let's dive right into it.
My hair color. You may have left one of those comments yourself. Well, recently I was sent a set of extensions by AB Hair in order to do a review for them, and that video is over here actually if you're in the market for some extensions and want some insight. But they didn't make extensions in red, so I had to request a set that were blonde and then dye them red. As you can see in that video, it actually worked out pretty well. So for those of you who like this hair color and are interested in getting it for yourself, this video is for you. I'm going to talk about how I dyed these blonde extensions to this nice deep red. I'm also going to talk...
I already see it's like totally matching with her hair. I love that. I love that she took the blonde hair and actually dyed it so it really matched up to her hair. That's really cool.
About dyeing extensions in general because it's a little different than dyeing your own hair. So if you're ready for all that, keep watching. Now, before we start, this is definitely not the only way to dye hair. This is just the process that I, in all my untrained bumbling about, was able to figure out for the needs of my extensions and my wallet. Using a box dye or going to a salon is another option, but I chose henna because it's cheaper, it's natural looking, it's permanent so it won't fade at all, and it's conditioning. However, there's some quirks about henna that you should be aware of before you start. Such as the fact that it's very messy and it stains everything that it comes in contact with. It combines it.
So yes, the caution that I would suggest is using gloves, putting newspaper on the floor, and definitely doing it in the bathroom, putting old clothes on. But once you master the process, it'll be an easy process for you.
With your natural hair color to make a red that's unique to you, and it can react with some materials such as metal or plastic if you're including essential oils, things like that I'll talk about more later. It's also only a darkener, so unfortunately if you have dark brown or black hair, you're not going to be able to get to this level of red without bleaching your hair first.
But I don't recommend bleaching. Never ever do we recommend bleaching because that's just really bad for your hair. And then yes, you're trying to get that color, but the bleaching damages your hair so much, and then so henna is actually repairing and repairing. No, just don't ever bleach your hair, please.
So forgive my butchering of color theory right now, but you can think of color roughly in terms of a grid where there's hue on the x-axis and lightness on the y. Henna and henna blends can take your natural hair color along the x-axis to a redder and browner hue, and down the lightness scale to a darker color, but it can't go back up to blonde or lighter. That's not to say you can't use henna on dark hair. You can still get a bit of a dark red tint to it if you applied really dark hair.
So if you have dark color hair, you don't necessarily need to use henna just to get color, Of course, you get the red tints, the red hues, especially where the sunlight hit. But henna gives you so many benefits. So definitely give it a try.
But a bright red isn't going to happen. Let's get started. The particular product I use to dye these blonde extensions is Light Mountain Henna in red. This company does henna blends, which means they combine henna with some other dyes like indigo in order to make different shades. So that way they can offer things like bright red and mahogany, dark brown, etc. It was like $9 on Amazon for me. If you're going to use a henna blend like this, make sure you follow the given instructions in the box to a T, because it's not going to behave the same way that body art henna does. For instance, when I was doing my Strand tests, I found some information on the internet that said if you use essential oils, it'll help release more of the dye when you're mixing the henna. But when I did that with this particular product, I found that it just turned it really green and then completely melted through the plastic cup that I was mixing in. Using just warm water and some nutmeg as...
So with essential oils, if you add in essential oils, just try to add in a couple of drops in your mixture. Obviously make sure it's not plastic because the essential oils are so pure.
Adjusted in the Light Mountain instructions for getting a richer red worked much better. So whatever brand you get, make sure you follow the given instructions with it. Then you will need to let the mixture cure for some amount of time. This product says that you can put it on as soon as 10 minutes after letting it set, but bear in mind that the longer that you leave this mixture to sit, the more dye that can be released from the plant grinds. So you may need to leave it on your hair for longer to compensate for that if you still want a darker color. Since I was taking this medium blonde to this dark red, and that's a pretty big color difference, I wanted to utilize the dye in the henna as much as possible, so I let this sit for 3 hours. To apply it to my extensions, I laid a sheet of saran wrap on my counter to keep things neat, and then used a disposable toothbrush to distribute the henna. Other good tools are a dye brush or your own hands covered in gloves. Typically, if you're using henna on your head, you'll want the consistency to be like yogurt, so you can spread it without it running everywhere. But since this is on a flat surface that's not my head, I diluted the henna a bit more, so it was even easier to spread. I also parted the hair in order to get good coverage. Remember, Simba, everything the henna touches is your new color. But if the henna doesn't seep through the hair enough, you'll have patchy hair. Once the extensions are sufficiently saturated, I wrap them up in the saran wrap, and in turn wrap that in a heating blanket on the lowest setting. Heat helps the dye release a bit more, which is why it's mixed in warm water in the first place, as well as swelling the hair cuticle a little.
So I definitely would not recommend like the heating pad she did, like on your own hair. The extensions, yeah, by all means, but you need to let the henna dye release naturally. So you have to leave it on for 3 hours, put on a shower cap, put on a towel over it, and it helps keep the heat and the moisture inside. But artificial heating, don't use that, because I have had a lot of people ask me if they can blow dry when they have the henna on just to make the process faster. It's like, no, you will not get that same result just by putting it on 30 minutes with the hair blow dryer versus leaving it on for the 3 hours that is recommended.
A little bit to increase dye penetration. On your own head, piling all your hair up and wrapping it will trap your body heat to help the henna, but you can also point a blow dryer at yourself on low if you want more. Just be careful not to get the henna too hot, like too hot to touch, because then the color will start to break down and you'll kill the henna. Length of time leaving the henna on your head also influences how red it gets. So if you're blonde and just want to go strawberry, which by the way is a fantastic color, I don't know why I don't see more people going for it, then you can just leave the henna on for like 20 to 30 minutes. But again, I wanted...
That's one fact that is true. If you want a lighter color, then you just leave it on for a lesser amount. I usually recommend 1 hour, but if you really want to, or if you're confused and you don't know if you go 1 hour or 2 hours, but you don't want to go too dark, I would just recommend taking strands from your brush and doing patch tests on them and see how that goes for you, and when you'll know how many hours you want to leave it on.
To go blonde to dark red, so I left this on for 8 hours. Finally, to clean off the henna, rinse in cool water until the water runoff is clear rather than orange. Then very gently wash the hair with a small amount of gentle shampoo and condition it.
So it's hair extensions, but on your hair, you can only rinse it out with conditioner. We don't recommend using shampoo. You want to wait from 24 to 48 hours, and after that, then you can shampoo. That way you let the color develop.
Wash not by scrubbing, but by massaging and scrunching. Between the initial rinse and the next time you wash your hair hair might feel a little bit dry, or drier than you're used to at least, and that's because there's going to be some errant henna molecules sticking to the surface of the hair shaft, and that will be taking up the space that your conditioner normally bonds to. Henna is a conditioner, which is why your hair seems shinier after you do a henna application, but it's not as effective tactile-wise as a lot of commercial conditioners, so that's why it might not feel as smooth initially. Your hair might also be a bit bright and orange, but rest assured that the color will tone down and deepen a little bit as time goes on, and the next time you wash, you'll wash away more of the henna molecules that are sticking to your hair, and then your conditioner can sit there and then it'll feel better. With extensions specifically, care should be taken not to agitate the hair too much when you're washing it. Hair is dead after all, so any damage you do to it is permanent. Plus with extensions, any damaged hair isn't going to be replaced with shiny new stuff from your head. Additionally, a lot of extensions go through a chemical processing routine before they're sold, so that makes them weaker. These extensions just went through this process last night, and as you can see, they got significantly redder, but not quite as red as my hair yet. So if you get to the end of your henna job and you decide it's not red enough for you, you can dye again. That's how you get from a blonde to a dark red that's several levels away, and that's what I did. I mixed another batch of henna, let it sit for 3 hours.
Yeah, with the extension that she has, she definitely needed to do another application to get the color matched to her hair.
Applied it to the hair, let that sit with heat for 8 hours, and then I got this, which is much closer, almost perfect match to my hair color. And you can see the difference between the first wash and the second wash henna's there. I figured out.
So even trying to get that, if you have very light hair, like blonde or light brown, sometimes the color may look lighter. Just wait 72 hours and see if the color is darkened to your liking. Otherwise, you can do another application after.
I figured out how much time I needed as well as how many applications I needed by doing strand tests first, which is when you take a little bit of hair from your head or some fallout from here. You can get it from a brush, whatever, and then you apply the dye to that to see how it's going to turn out. And you should do a strand test too, because if you go overboard, henna is really hard to bleach out. And especially with extensions, you should never use bleach on these puppies because of how delicate they are from the processing that they went through before being sold. Finally, another word of caution. Up close on this extension, you can see a greenish-black blotch on the hair. That's because there's a part of this weft clip that is unpainted metal, and this was touching the hennaed hair. Henna reacts with metal like this, so be sure to avoid any metal during the mixing and application process. This is on the underside of the extensions at the top of the weft, which is normally covered by your own hair, so I don't really care about this blotch, but you probably would on your own hair. And this concludes my video on henna. If you decide to take some of this advice and dye your own hair, you should let me know how it goes in the comments. Also, if there are any henna veterans out there, why don't you also share your experiences and your knowledge in the comments too, so other people can see the wide array of possibilities that are available with henna. Thanks for watching, and good luck with all your hair ventures.
This video was very informative. Definitely check it out. If you're new to henna, you want to watch this, you want to watch the other videos as well. Henna is a bit of a process and a learning process as well, but you can't be chemical-free vegan. It is really nourishing to your hair, so definitely give it a try. I enjoyed this video. It was very informative. Instead of doing it on her hair, she did it on extensions, which is very different from what I usually do the videos. Well, thanks for watching again, and leave a comment in the section down below. Like and subscribe. Until next time. Thank you.